Lead like a legend. How to be a badass boss without being an asshole or a doormat. You don't have to bark orders to get results, but you also don't need to shrink to be liked. The best leaders lead with backbone and heart. Let's be real. Most people think leadership is either being the tough boss who demands respect through fear or the nice boss who tries to be everyone's friend. But here's what no one tells you. Both extremes fail. Do you find yourself swinging between being too harsh and too soft? Do you either micromanage or avoid difficult conversations entirely? Do you think respect comes from your title instead of your character? You've been lied to about what real leadership looks like. Great leaders don't choose between being respected and being human. They figure out how to be both. Today, we're breaking down how to lead with authority without being authoritarian, how to be firm without being cruel, and how to inspire loyalty without needing to be loved. We're covering 5 leadership realities. First, why you need to ditch the extremes and find your authentic leadership voice. Second, how respect is earned in private moments, not public displays. Third, the power of crystal clear expectations backed by consistent enforcement. Fourth, how to give feedback that builds people up while holding them accountable. And fifth, how to show people they matter without making leadership about your ego. 1. Ditch the extremes. Leadership isn't a popularity contest or a power trip. Here's something that might surprise you. Too many bosses either bulldoze people or beg for approval, and both approaches destroy their credibility. Great leaders don't swing between dictator and doormat. They lead with clarity, consistency, and confidence, not ego or desperation. The aggressive leader thinks respect comes from fear, intimidation, and dominance. They believe that if people are afraid to disagree with them, that means that they're respected. But fear-based leadership creates compliance, not commitment. People do the minimum required to avoid punishment, not the maximum possible to achieve excellence. The people-pleasing leader thinks respect comes from being liked, accommodating, and avoiding conflict. They believe that if everyone thinks they're nice, they'll naturally want to follow them. But approval-seeking leadership creates confusion, not clarity. People don't know what's expected of them or where the boundaries are. Both extremes are driven by insecurity. The aggressive leader is insecure about their authority, so they overcompensate with dominance. The people-pleasing leader is insecure about being disliked, so they overcompensate with accommodation. Neither approach creates the psychological safety and clear direction that teams need to perform at their best. Real leadership is the sweet spot between these extremes. It's being firm without being harsh, clear without being cruel, confident without being arrogant. It's understanding that you can care about people while still holding them accountable. You can be warm and demanding at the same time. The best leaders understand that their job isn't to be liked or feared. It's to create conditions where people can do their best work. Sometimes that requires difficult conversations. Sometimes it requires celebrating successes. Always it requires being consistent, trustworthy, and focused on the mission rather than on managing their own image. 2. Respect is earned in private, not public. You can't fake being solid. Respect comes from how you handle the hard stuff, the one-on-one conversations, the accountability discussions, the way you give credit when things go well, and own responsibility when they don't. People follow what they trust, not what you perform. Public leadership moments are when everyone is watching and you're on. But private leadership moments are when your character shows up unfiltered. How do you handle a team member's mistake when no one else is around? How do you respond when someone challenges your decision in a private meeting? How do you treat people who can't do anything for your career? The way you handle private interactions determines how people talk about you when you're not in the room. Do they describe you as consistent, fair, and trustworthy? Or do they share stories about how you threw people under the bus, took credit for their ideas, or treated them differently based on their status? Respect is built through small, consistent actions over time. It's remembering what people told you about their personal challenges and checking in later. It's giving someone credit for their contribution in a meeting. It's having difficult conversations directly instead of complaining to other people. It's admitting when you don't know something instead of pretending to have all the answers. The leaders people remember and respect long after they have left are the ones who made them feel seen, heard, and valued as individuals. They didn't just manage tasks. They invested in people. They didn't just deliver results. They developed others' capacity to deliver results. Focus on being the same person in private that you are in public. Let your character be consistent across all interactions, regardless of who's watching or what you think you can gain from the relationship. 3. Make expectations crystal clear, then actually hold the line. You don't need to micromanage if you're clear as hell about what success looks like. Tell your people exactly what winning means, then enforce the standard without apology. People feel safer and work better with clear boundaries than with vague guidelines. Most leadership problems stem from unclear expectations. People can't hit targets they can't see. They can't meet standards that haven't been communicated. They can't succeed at work you haven't defined. When expectations are vague, everyone operates from their own assumptions about what's important, and those assumptions are usually different. Clear expectations include specific outcomes, deadlines, quality standards, and communication preferences. Instead of "I need this done well," say, "I need this completed by Friday at 3 p.m. with these 3 elements included and formatted according to this template." Instead of "Be more professional," explain exactly what professional behavior looks like in your context. But clarity without consistency is meaningless. If you set standards and then don't enforce them, you're teaching people that your standards are suggestions, not requirements. If you hold some people accountable while giving others apologies, you're creating a culture of favoritism and confusion. Holding the line doesn't mean being punitive or harsh. It means having honest conversations when standards aren't met, providing support to help people meet expectations, and following through on consequences when support isn't enough. It means being consistent in your enforcement regardless of whether you personally like the person involved. People actually appreciate clear boundaries because they reduce anxiety and increase confidence. When people know exactly what's expected of them, they can focus their energy on delivering results instead of guessing what you want. 4. Give feedback like you give a damn. Direct, not destructive. Stop sugarcoating or snapping. The real leadership skill is giving feedback. That's honest, useful, and human. Call people up, not just out. If they respect you, they'll hear you. If they don't, that's information about the relationship you need to address. Most people avoid giving direct feedback because they're afraid of conflict or hurting feelings. But vague, gentle feedback doesn't help people improve. It just postpones the difficult conversation until the problem becomes bigger and harder to address. The kindest thing you can do for someone who's struggling is to tell them clearly and specifically what needs to change. Direct feedback focuses on behaviors and outcomes, not personality or character. Your reports have been submitted late 3 times this month, which affects the team's ability to meet our client deadlines. So as direct. You're disorganized and unreliable is destructive. Effective feedback is also timely and private. Don't wait for formal review periods to address performance issues. Don't give corrective feedback in front of other people unless it's necessary for safety or immediate course correction. People can hear difficult truths when they're delivered with respect and genuine care for their development. The goal of feedback is improvement, not punishment. Before you give feedback, be clear about what you want the person to do differently and how you're willing to support that change. If you're just venting frustration without offering a path forward, that's not feedback. That's emotional dumping. The leaders people respect most are the ones who care enough to tell them the truth, even when the truth is uncomfortable. They're also the ones who celebrate improvements and acknowledge progress, not just point out problems. 5. Show people they matter without making it about you. Being human doesn't mean being soft. It means seeing people, not just results. Check in on how they're doing. Celebrate their wins. Ask what they need. Then shut up and listen. You're not there to be worshipped. You're there to serve and sharpen. The best leaders understand that their job is to make other people successful, not to be the star of every story. They celebrate team achievements more than personal recognition. They develop other leaders instead of hoarding knowledge and opportunities. They measure their success by the growth and performance of their people. This requires genuine curiosity about the people you lead. What are their career goals? What challenges are they facing outside of work that might be affecting their performance? What skills do they want to develop? What kind of recognition matters most to them? You can't lead people effectively if you don't know them as individuals. Showing people they matter also means protecting their time, energy, and well-being. It means not dumping your stress onto them. It means not taking credit for their ideas or throwing them under the bus when things go wrong. It means advocating for them when they're not in the room. Simon Sinek said it perfectly. A boss has the title, a leader has the people. Be the person they'll remember long after the paycheck, not the one they hope leaves the company. Leadership isn't about being served. It's about serving others in a way that brings out their best work and highest potential. When people feel genuinely cared for and developed, they'll go above and beyond, not because they have to, but because they want to contribute to something bigger than themselves. All right, time for some tough love. If you're still trying to be the cool boss or the feared boss, you've already lost. Grow the hell up. The job isn't about being liked or feared. It's about building people, owning your voice, and standing for something stronger than your own insecurity. You think leadership is about you, but it's actually about them. You think it's about proving your worth, but it's about developing their worth. You think it's about having the right answers, but it's about asking the right questions and creating space for other people to find solutions. Your need to be liked is making you weak and indecisive. Your need to be feared is making you isolated and ineffective. Your need to be right all the time is making you unteachable and brittle. None of these needs serve the people you're supposed to be leading. Stop managing your image and start managing your impact. Stop protecting your ego and start protecting your team's potential. Stop trying to be the hero of every story and start being the person who helps others become heroes of their own stories. The leaders people remember aren't the ones who were perfect. They're the ones who were real. They're the ones who admitted mistakes, asked for help, and cared more about the mission than their own reputation. You have a choice. You can keep leading from insecurity, or you can start leading from service. You can keep making it about you, or you can start making it about what you can create together. Now, here's your challenge for today. Audit your leadership right now. Ask 3 people, teammates, direct reports, or colleagues. What's one thing I do that earns your respect and one thing that makes me harder to follow? Then shut your mouth and take notes. Don't defend, don't explain, don't justify. Just listen and learn. Leadership starts when your ego sits down and your curiosity stands up. Your influence is only as strong as your willingness to grow. Start growing. If this video reminded you that real leadership is about serving others, not being served by them, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're building a community of people who lead with both backbone and heart. Share this with someone who's struggling to find their authentic leadership voice. Sometimes we all need a reminder that the best leaders aren't the toughest or the nicest. They're the most consistent and caring. Remember, you're not broken. You're untrained in the art of authentic leadership. And these skills can be developed starting with your next interaction with the people you're supposed to be serving. Until next time, lead like you give a damn about the people following you.